Meg here from I Teach Stamping. Welcome to the Friday Flip. So the Friday Flip is where we take one project idea and we flip it into something completely different, keeping the parts that we love and changing what we need to in order to make the card work for our occasion. So let's go ahead and dive in by taking a look at our inspiration project. This is from an old Stampin' Up! Catalog, and it's going to be this Celebrate card right here. What I love about it is the stitching that went around it. I like the buttons, but I want to make this a little bit more postal friendly. And then I love the big, huge sentiment going across top, and of course the little ribbon right there. So we're going to make several changes to it and make it work for us. So the first thing that we're going to do is our stamping. And I'm going to be using 3 different stamp sets. We're going to be using the Fabulous 4, Gorgeous Grunge, and Something to Say. So we are going to start with our stamping, and I'm going to start with our sentiment, which is going to be the It's Your Day. I use Bermuda Bay ink for this. I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig because I want to make sure I get perfect placement on this. What I love about the Stamp-A-Majig is it is such an affordable stamp positioner. And I like to use vellum sheets, and then so I cut down my vellum, and then I just keep that right in my stamp case so that I don't have to redo that first step every single time. All right, so we have the It's Your Day. And now we're going to turn to our card base, which is going to be Bermuda Bay. It starts at 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4.25. I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grunge with that same Bermuda Bay ink. So Bermuda Bay ink on Bermuda Bay cardstock. I don't have to worry really about the kind of the center of it, but I want to be sure to get all the way around the edges. And you know what? Why not? We'll just fill it, and then I don't have to worry about it. All right, so that is all we need with the Bermuda Bay. The next one that we're going to do is with Daffodil Delight, and it's going to be this cute little heart. So this heart has these ziggy lines through it, and that's what made me think to pull in the Gorgeous Grunge to add a little bit more texture, because this is all about texture. It goes outside the line. It just makes for a good pairing combination. All right, so we are done with that. The next thing that we would do is use this little heart from the Itty Bitty Accents Punch Pack and go through and get all 4 of them punched out. Okay, so I did that ahead of time. And then the only other thing that we need to do is bring in our fringe scissors. So at first I was a little hesitant with this step, but once I did it, I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to take this on a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I'm just doing it on one edge. So the cool thing about the fringe scissors is you get lots of little cuts, but you don't have to cut as often. So there we go. So this is just going to give us a fun little border. On our inspiration card it had scallops, but since we're going with the sketchiness here and the random pattern here, I wanted something that was a little bit edgier than just a scallop. Okay, now we are ready to do our assembly, I do believe. So the first thing that we're going to do is bring in our hearts. So I used half a dimensional on the back of each of these. And I'm going to start and work from the outside in, because it's going to help me get it centered. And I'm not pushing down on these just yet until I know for sure that they're where I'm going to want them. And actually, I think it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and press. Then the next thing we're going to add is going to be a strip of some basic gray basic black. I use a lot of gray, but this is not gray. So some basic black, and it's going to be 3/8 of an inch wide. And I'm putting the bottom of that black edge right at 1 inch up from the bottom. Then I'm going to add my It's Your Day on top. So I'm just going to have a little bit of that fringe top showing. Then I can go through and kind of ruffle it up and rough it up. But it's just a cool little thing, not too much, not too over the top, but something fun. So now I am ready to bring in my ribbon. So I'm taking some of the narrow Bermuda Bay ribbon, I love this one. It's got those stitch lines in it, so it goes perfectly with this card. I'm just putting it to where it's at the base of our sentiment layer. So that black just helps it pop a little bit. Now we're ready to bring in our crumb cake. We'll layer this on top there. And then we're actually ready to go ahead and put it on our card. So once we have this, and I need to check and make sure it's nice and straight, because once we go on to the next point, there is no changing it. I'm going to grab my white chalk marker, and we're going to do faux stitching. So on our inspiration project, it had actual stitching, but I really did not want to mess with that. So I went with this option instead. Now, a lot of people get a little frustrated with the white chalk marker, because when they first start using it, like the first stitch, it's all vibrant and white. But then as they go on, they can barely see it. Well, you have to give it time to dry. I don't know why the first ones go on more vibrant, but the other ones will become just as vibrant as long as you let it dry. So you can't be impatient. It doesn't take too long, but there we go. So see, you can start seeing it down there where it was real faint before. It's really vibrant now. So we're just going to finish this up. Just going all the way around this crumb cake. And we just have one more thing to do on this card. And I tend to want to get in a hurry when I'm doing my faux stitching, but just take your time. There we go. So we're going to let that get a little bit darker. We're going to grab a bow tied out of that same exact ribbon and add it to the left-hand side over here. And just like that, believe it or not, our card is done. So let's go ahead and bring in our inspiration card again and take a look, because we kept a lot of it, but we changed a lot of it as well. So I kept having the card base stay pretty much the same. We changed out the real stitching for faux stitching with the chalk marker. Rather than the buttons, we added the hearts. I added, down here they had a darker layer, but I wanted it to really help that ribbon pop. We've got our big sentiment, and we changed out the scallops for a little fringing to make it just a little bit more edgy and trendy. So there we have it, another Friday flip. I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make this card. If you like the Friday flip and you like this project, please be sure to like it below, and also be sure to share it with your friends. Then head on over to iteachstamping.com. Make sure that you are signed up for my exclusive email newsletter, where I share tips and projects there that I don't share anywhere else. Again, I'm Meg from I Teach Stamping. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video tutorial. Have a great day.